Last year, Mary Barra made some extreme claims about what GM would do when it comes to electric vehicle deliveries. She claimed the company was the #1 electric vehicle manufacturer in the world. And then what happened? They delivered 27 EVs in the fourth quarter of 2021. It's so sad, you just have to laugh. The thing is, things didn't get much better in the first quarter of 2022. They delivered 457 EVs total over the course of 3 months. Now, Mary Barra, according to GM's own fan website, made a total compensation package of $40.7 million in 2020. Well, what's going on now is Mary Barra has proposed that GM's executives only be paid for results. Not herself, but her executives should be paid on results. So maybe Mary Barra should pay back some of that $40 million that she was paid at the end of 2020. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you here. Thanks for subscribing. Great to have you here. Welcome all you new subscribers and welcome back everyone else. Now, just to give you a quick story of what the hell is going on with this crazy voice right now. I crashed my bike, my BMX bike, while I was out with my boys, Jack and Cal. They're 5 and 8. Went to hospital, had x-rays on my chest, had some broken ribs in my chest and had some wounds. Those wounds got infected, I didn't know, with staph. Had the staph virus for the last, I don't know how long, it's been 2 months now. Been feeling extremely tired all the time. Had no idea what was going on. Anyway, just went to hospital a couple of days ago and I've got staph pretty bad. Had some pretty bad boils and things that had come up. So I'm kind of thankful to be alive right now and be making videos for you guys. So I love doing this. You know, I need to give you a proviso here. I want General Motors to deliver what it says it will deliver. That's why I'm making this video, to hold them accountable, to hold the person who has the most power accountable. I don't think she's being held accountable right now. I personally think the media are giving her a free pass, and they shouldn't be. Now, in a recent interview, General Motors CEO Mary Barra stated that long-term executive compensation will be contingent upon the American automaker reaching specific targets for its transition into electrification. I love this plan. It's brilliant. Full kudos to Mary for coming up with this plan. In fact, I don't think there's a better incentive currently in any legacy auto company when it comes to getting your executives to buy into your electric vehicle strategy. And honestly, if Mary Barra is legit about this, fantastic. But if she's really legit about this, then this would be something that wasn't just going to apply to her executives. It would also apply to her. But I haven't heard her mention that it will apply to her. Because if it did, what would she have been paid over the last 6 months? Maybe $100? Hey, let's say we just give her, all the profits that came from EVs over the last 6 months. All of them can go to Mary. Right, over the last 2 quarters, the last 6 months of General Motors EV production, every single dollar from GM's profit from those 6 months of sales for electric cars should go to Mary. But that's all she makes. How much money do you reckon she would have made? $20,000? 25 maybe? At a stretch? Maybe nothing. Who knows? GM. We don't know GM. GM has never told us if they actually make any money out of selling electric cars. The Electric says that with some bold targets already in place, what better way to get the suits paid than to dangle a zero emissions carrot in front of them. As reported by CNBC, GM CEO Mary Barra said that executive compensation will be tied to EV targets beginning this year. The full scope of these targets are expected to come to light during GM's proxy filing on Friday, but for now, we know they will include volumes of EVs in North America as well as launch timing and vehicle quality. GM has recently begun transitioning several of its manufacturing facilities to support expanded EV production, as it moves to increase its annual capacity to 2 million EVs in North America and China per year by 2025. Now, clear this up. There's a lot of misunderstanding around these numbers. Many people think this means GM are saying they're going to deliver 2 million EVs in 2025. That is not what they're saying. Absolutely not. They're saying they'll have the capacity to produce that many by the end of 2025. In other words, they could potentially deliver 2 million in 2026. So clearly, that's not even remotely going to be catching where Tesla will be at that period of time. Not that this matters. I mean, to be honest, who cares? The reality is, if GM does put itself in position to deliver 2 million EVs in 2026, and it does deliver on that, that's brilliant. That's great news. I'll be stoked. GM they've lost a fair bit of market share, but enough to probably stave off bankruptcy, stay in business, and hopefully be able to make a profit and still exist by the 2030s. Now, these movements are part of GM's larger overall strategy to go all electric by 2035. I believe they have no choice but to revise that to 2030. Mary Barra spoke briefly to the decision behind the new executive compensation terms during GM's recent Q1 earnings call. She said, "At GM, our compensation has always been driven by the company's success, and no one should doubt our commitment to lead in EVs or the passion our team has for that mission." So, if General Motors' compensation is driven by the company's success when it comes to electric cars, then I repeat, how much money should Mary Barra be paid for the last 6 months? In 2020, the Electric reports that Mary Barra made a total compensation package of $23.7 million US. Well, GMAuthority.com, which is basically like GM's fan site, says that she actually didn't make that much money. It's popularly reported as that, but the truth is she actually made $40.3 million US. According to data obtained by Automotive News CEO compensation study, which, in addition to base salary, factors in other forms of compensation such as cash bonus payouts, gains from stock awards, benefits, and other payments. Now, there's meant to be some good things happening this year for General Motors. We'll wait and see. What are those things? Well, in 2020 alone, GM announced a new 50 gigawatt hour lithium-ion battery facility. Well, I shouldn't call it that, should I? I should call it an Ultium battery facility coming to the US, and $7 billion in expanding its US EV production, which is desperately needed. That's not mentioning a slew of new electric vehicles like the Chevy Equinox, the Blazer, and of course the all-wheel drive Corvette, but that's not due to come out for several years now. Of course, the most important vehicle for General Motors, period, over the next decade, will be its ability to deliver the electric Silverado. That is the vehicle that GM currently makes the most money from, the internal combustion engine version anyway. Of course, pickup trucks are the most popular vehicles in the US. That is what GM has to build millions of to stay alive. Now, Mary Barra has promised us that GM will overtake Tesla by 2025 in terms of electric vehicle sales. And she also expects to generate $50 billion from EV sales in North America alone. Now, I suggest we say to Mary Barra, right, as shareholders, I own, $500 of General Motors shares. Don't know why, but I do. I suggest we say to Mary, if you can deliver on this number, $50 billion from EV sales in North America alone, if you can deliver 2 million EVs in terms of capacity by the end of 2026, in terms of actual numbers delivered by the end of 2026, then we'll pay you $2 billion. $2 billion, right? Lots of money. If you can't, we'll pay you the average salary that a General Motors worker gets from working at GM, right? So there's no loss here. If you don't make it, you still get some money. You get the average salary that a General Motor worker gets. But if you do make it and you do actually deliver what you say you're going to deliver, we'll give you $2 billion. What do you reckon? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below if you think this plan would work. Do you think Mary Barra would take the bait? Now, obviously, GM has some really incredible, grandiose goals it says it's going to achieve, which, to be honest, I don't think they're realistic. And that's why I'm proposing this idea. I think she'd balk at it because she would know, really, that GM isn't going to be able to beat Tesla. And considering it only sold 457 electric vehicles in the first quarter of this year, it's going to struggle to meet its delivery targets this year as well. Another thing to consider, GM still has to replace the battery packs in 70,000 recalled Chevrolet Bolt and Bolt EVs. It's only done 21,000 so far, and it's still got more than 70,000 to go. That's a big drain on General Motors resources right now. However, the first Cadillac Lyrics on GM's Ultium platform rolled off their assembly line in Tennessee last month. So hopefully we can see deliveries from them soon. Hopefully it's a lot more than the one Hummer EV that GM delivered in the fourth quarter of 2021. Meanwhile, Bolt and Hummer EV production will continue to ramp up this year, so that's good news. There's plenty in the pipeline. Apparently, say the electric, just not much rolling out of the pipeline just yet. And that's really my number one concern here. I mean, look at Ford's production of the Mustang Mach-E. Ford's been saying they're going to ramp up production, ramp up production, ramp up production. They even said they're going to stop their production of another electric vehicle in order to ramp up the Mustang Mach-E production. They said that last year, around about the third quarter of last year. While electric vehicle production of the Mach-E this year has been lower than what it was in the same period last year, the same 3 months of the first year of last year. That's pretty disappointing. Now, all of this together is all the more reason to incentivize GM's executives, including Mary Barra herself, to do all they can to reach these EV targets. This is not internal combustion engine sales targets. They can do that all they want, but they're going to lose sales of those vehicles eventually. They're going to die pretty quickly. So I don't see why Barra getting paid tens of millions of dollars to sell internal combustion engine vehicles, and she is right now. So there's plenty more to be done before GM can start writing its EV leader acceptance speech and making legitimate claims that people will actually take seriously when it comes to leading the world on electrification. The Electric says those executives at General Motors might want to hold off on their yacht deposits for the time being. Now, what I'm hearing is that there are some significant problems in the ranks. Not a lot of executives are very happy with this idea. Even some of them have been pushing for internal combustion engine vehicles. They don't like electric cars. They don't like change. Change is difficult. Now, Mario, I think, or whoever the boffins who are in charge here, believe that when their own personal finances are on the line, they'll fall in line. In addition, this should also make it more agreeable for these highly paid executives to sacrifice and cannibalize their internal combustion engine vehicle sales, since their compensation is disconnected entirely from those sales and it's connected entirely with the sales of electric vehicles. Hopefully, that's what happens. Thanks for watching. And as always, have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.